Good afternoon to the BNC Club in London, and good morning to the Museo Jumex in Mexico. Thank you, Patricia Marshall. Thank you, Dario Escobar. Thank you for being,
Kate.
You're the curator of the exhibition, for being with us today. We are very happy to take you.
I am the curator.
We're happy to take you to this live tour of the exhibition On the Razor's Edge, sur le fil du rasoir, at Museo Jumex. The exhibition was curated by Patricia Marshall. The collection Jumex has been founded in 2001. It's one of the most important private collections of contemporary art in Latin America, with more than 3,000 works. And through the works are more than 40 international artists like Dario Escobar, of course, Stefan Bugman, Mark Dion, Isa Gensken, Dan Graham, Damien Hirst, Alfredo Yard, Dan Vaux. Well,
yeah, we will show you.
We're going to show you. So, Patricia Marshall, you are a collector and an art advisor, and you've been shaping the collection of the museum for over 20 years.
25.
25 years. And so now it's your turn, your platform, and then we will have a live tour of the exhibition. Everybody can go to the chat box and write questions. We will have a Q&A at the end. And we will have a moment, of course, with Dario Escobar, the artist. You're a conceptual artist, and we're going to discover what your piece in this exhibition. Thank you again.
So I started collecting. I met Eugenio Lopez in 1994. He was super young. And together we started building this collection, which is principally conceptual and minimalist. At the beginning was mostly American artists, and we introduced, thanks to his risk and his ambitions, all the artists, the Latin American artists, the new generations were able to have a voice thanks to him and his collections of American, we showed at first in 1997. So this exhibitions, it's about fragility of life. He invited me this year. This is the second time I'm doing a curating job. And it's about, it's called Au fil du rasoir, and everything what occurs to us in life, you know, things can change, but also there is an evolution. And life is super fragile, as we can see. And so the first piece I started with was Nicolas Party, because, you know, men have been trying to get control of nature, and nature is really taking over man. So what, you know, what is wonderful in art is very visionary, and it's also reflections about the society and what's going to happen. So we did different sections in this collection. The first section is about liberty, which is something we all think is very strong and very indestructible, but at the end it's super fragile. So the first work is with Alighiero Boetti, as you know, it's Arte Povera artist. It's been done by an architect, and, you know, he never did the work himself. It was done by an architect and illustrator about, you know, the chaotic world we are living. And what is interested is the concept of order and disorder. This is like a ballet, and it's a game, and we have to know the rule of the game in order to see how to manage in life. So this first artist is one of the first one we collected in the collections, because when we showed the collection in 1997, we did not have the best support with the friends and family, but Eugenio was sure of himself and went went on. And we, all the new generations came out, as like I told you, and one of the first artists was Gabriel Coury, who takes the everyday objects. So each one to show the fragility of life, taking these blankets, you know, this metallic to help you, to keep you from the cold. But at the same time, it's for demonstrations. And you can see the outside with the reflections of the metallic paper. You can see the outside world, and you know, and also you are fighting for your liberty. I put Yan Vo at the end. Yan Vo is an artist who came from Vietnam at the age of 4 to Denmark, and was very young. He said, one day I will rebuild the Statue of Liberty. So the Statue of Liberty, as you know, was given by the French to the American, and sorry. So this has been done. So he rebuilt it totally. There is 300 pieces. This is a fragment of the dress of the Statue of Liberty. And you have this idea of, you know, this sculpture, which is indestructible. And he never wanted to put it back together. He wanted to distribute the liberty. So it's all, will never be one piece together. The title of the piece is called We Are the People. It's the first sentence of the constitutions in America. So this is, the Qatar owns the head and the feet. So here we arrive with Santiago Serra here. Santiago Serra is a Spanish artist. And he paid $30. Some kids who were in Havana, and he wanted to show that, you know, for $30 you can get those kids for nothing who are ready to risk their body, to tattoo the back of their back. But it's also a parallel to minimalism. It was a gesture about minimalism. And as you know, minimalism has no voice of being political. So there is always, what I like, art is like reflections of our life, this opposition between positive and negative. So you have this kind of young kids who have been bought for $30, and at the same time, the idea of the artist was to show this movement of minimalism is not going to be political. So that's the idea. So in these collections, I tried to show the beauty and also the ugliness behind it. So here you have a piece from Damien Ortega. The title is A Trip to Tintin. So you have, when you are a child, you hide yourself under, you know, to play, but also it can be used to protect you from the street, for the homeless. So there is this part of innocent and this part of ruthless and very, life is very rough and tough. So, in the 80s, 90s, you have a movement in America. America has always been showing everything like Disneyland. Beautiful, beautiful teas, beautiful everything. And there is this movement of, I arrived in the 80s in Los Angeles, of artists who were, who was really, took this position of being very critical about the society. So I got very close to those people. And this is a piece of Jason Rhodes. So you had Paul McCartney, Mike Kelly, and the children of those artists is really Jason Rhodes, the new generation, I must say. So here, this is a piece, as you know, the Americans are very puritanist. So they never speak about sexuality. So he did this dictionary about vagina, and also what he wanted to, the Mexican, because he was living on the border, Mexico and America. The Mexican look at America like they're the savior, but what he tried to translate in this piece is America is really polluting Mexico, and Mexico is bringing the warmth, the sensuality, and all the humans is coming by those little pieces. So it's the confrontations between America and Mexico, what is really telling that Mexico is bringing more to America, because America is fast food, fast sex, and there is no sensuality.
Patricia, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to remind the members of the BNC Club that it's the second time we do a Zoom with you, and the first time it was in your home and your collection, and you also have this big installation of Jason Rhodes. So
a long time
everybody
ago,
would remind this fantastic
yes.
that you have in your house.
Yes, I've been very close to him. Unfortunately, he died. Yes, but he was part of the artists, because when I came to Los Angeles, I became very involved with the artists of the time, Paul McCartney, McKelly, and we were very critical of the system, since we were not very appreciated by the Americans, but they were very appreciated by the Europeans. So their voice was more in Europe than in America. And they were all discovered by Europeans and not by Americans, because Americans don't like to be criticized. Yes. So here, this is another, so, for me, art is, as I told you, so this is Valentin Caron, which is Swiss. And the Switzerland have these reputations of solidity and perfections and nothing. And a fence is there to protect you. So what he wanted to show is that he redesigned this fence and made it very soft and very romantic with some hole, to show that the Swiss system has a lot of hole, and they are not as strong and as protective that they want to claim, and they want to have this reputation about. So it's Valentin Caron. So here we have like Alora Casadillas. Alora Casadillas did an internship at the here. Alora. Abraham. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Abraham goes Abraham, sorry. The next one.
The way for the area is for the experience of the life, no?
Yes, the way.
What is your perception?
What is my perceptions?
For this area?
For this area? Yeah. So it's about traveling, and it's about moving, and it's about, your piece, which is here. It's about writing art history with those years, the two artists we're going to show, Dario here and Abraham Gus Villegas, who really never had art history has not validated in the world. So that's a way of transcribing the art history with their objects of everyday. He went to the Calder Foundation, so all his work is about balance, and also saying that all those subjects, found objects, have another life. So it's very, so you can either do like a house, his parents made a house from found objects, or you can use it as a sculpture, but there is always another life. It's not, and so time is also very important. And now we have the best piece, Dario Escobar.
Oh, the piece is,
here.
Okay.
Can you hear, Dario?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, one second, please. Thank
Great.
you.
Great.
No, my work is one conversation with the art history with my country, Guatemala. For me, it's very important not only the conversation, it's very important the object in general. This is a popular
in Central America.
in Central America. Guatemala is in Central America.
In Central America, no?
Yeah, exactly.
The truck are always painted with a geographic.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's very important the way for the high culture and low culture. The conversation is very important.
Yes.
For me, the point is only solamente la visión the division for the why is in this moment the high culture and low culture. This is the point.
But also, so
what we understand from you, may I present you? You are a conceptual artist, and this piece behind you is a piece of a truck. Yes, right? Oh, connection. My God.
It's a, but also it's also it's a truck for the truck.
We
but
can't hear you. Is it just me, or is it Museo Jumex that's being disconnected? Hello?
Non, on t'entend, Anne-Pierre, on t'entend.
Vous m'entendez? C'est eux alors qu'on n'entend pas.
Exactement.
Ah ouais, donc c'est la connexion chez eux. Zut.
Je vais leur envoyer un message, Anne-Pierre.
Ok, merci. Okay, so just for you to understand that Dario Escobar is a conceptual artist, and what I understood is that the piece behind is a piece of a truck. They're linked to the story of Central American people who hide in trucks, if I'm correct. But they are not here. They are. Ooh. Ah, wait.
Voila. Okay, sorry, we lost the connection.
Exactly. So you have to, Patricia. Maybe you can introduce the artist Dario Escobar and this piece behind you related to the trucks in Central America, and then he can have a conversation about his work.
So I don't know if you heard this part, but you know this truck. It's a truck is made to transport merchandise, but also transport human beings to go to the American dream, which is very, hell and ugly. So this beautiful truck has, exactly. Positive and negatives.
And the connection is, for me, the abstract painting with the popular art. It's very important, the conversation in this moment.
It's the validity of art history.
Exactly. For me, it's very important the reconfiguration for the piece. For example, this is one way. This is other way. Yeah. Voila.
So
it's very interesting, the conversation with
very
two
much.
different...
Yeah, this is
it's very, exactly. Exactly. It's two different objects.
Yes,
talk with side,
but saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next part, we are going to can you see? So this is Alora Casadilla. Alora Casadilla, it's a couple. They are from Puerto Rico. This is an island in Puerto Rico called Vaquies, where NATO and have been and the American for 60 years have been doing experimentations on bombing. And the title of this park is called Conservation Park, hidden the ugliness of the toxicity and all the people suffering from those experiences and all the illness they're getting from this experimentations. So I have something I wanted to show because I know most of the people are from Paris, so we're listening. So this is Mark Diane, and the title is called Paris Streetscape. So for the past 10 years, thanks to our fabulous mayor, all the animals have been surviving with the garbage and all the pollutions and all the dirt which is happening in Paris. So the title is called Paris Streetscape. So this is a portrait of Paris.
This is a special tribute to us, huh?
Welcome to Paris. But I can say because I'm French. Yeah. So McKelly is one of the artists who was very influenced in my life. I think he's one of the breakthrough in art history. Maybe we have the specialists here. But, he was one of the groups, the first one criticizing America. So he's from Detroit, and he took a trip on the Detroit River. And instead of looking at the beautiful sight, to show all the garbage and all the things where the people were throwing in the river. So McKelly, very important artist, in my opinion. This is Ugo Randinone. Ugo Randinone did this very huge, immense bulb who looks very, very solid, but wants to show also the fragility. And he's very, his questions is about mortality and temporality. So this is what it is about. So Ugo Randinone. So the black mortality, but it's very fragile and it looks like it's forever, but it's not forever.
Patricia, are we still in the section of liberty, freedom, or not?
It's not in the liberty, it's about fragility.
Yes, because the first section you said that we are entering this in the entrance. All the pieces are related to freedom. Is it still the case, or?
This is no. This is not. Yeah, it's related to the natural world.
Natural world. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a seconds after the garbage and the pollutions, and you are. Electric and energy is very important, but it's also very sensitive. Yeah, great connection. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here I'm going to take you to a very fabulous artist, Alfredo Jar. Alfredo Jar is from Chile. Yes, he lives in New York. And 500 years ago, Christophe Colomb went to say, I'm going to America, he never went. And his main purpose was to find gold and wealth. So in order for that, he used as for political, his writing is like using advertising objects like to tell. So in order for that, at the time, 500 years ago, they were exploiting people. So you can see in the mine, they were exploiting. And what he wants to say, and here, what the sentence say, I was very attentive to find gold. And the second box, I don't want to go to another island, I want to find gold. And the last box say, please God, help me to find gold. But what he wants to show that, all this ugliness, and 500 years later, we are still there is colonializations, and we're still exploiting people to find gold. So nothing has changed in 500 years. That is the other face. So, well, so you have beauty. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
this is other area.
But you come here because this is the best. Kitty is the best for explanations.
This is other area for the exhibition. No?
It,
I remember the mirror.
this is about what you will say.
So,
Here you have this. Can you hear me? Yeah. This, you have this artist from Kosovo, Petrit, who is, by the way, going to have the roof of the Metropolitan for everyone. So he's from Kosovo in 1999. As everybody knows, it was the Balkan War. So meaning that all of a sudden he was in school, could not speak his own language. And the Museum of History was closed. They put all the animals behind the wall to change to an ethnical museum. But at the same time, he was gay and he was in the closet. And to be gay in the Balkan was not so easy. So what he wanted to say is there is always a changement with good government. You have new museums, you have new, at that time it was new language, but not really. And also he was able to tell his parents that he was gay, so it was like a part of the of the evolution. So there is always, it's always a changement and evolutions. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think what's interesting about this work in the exhibition is it sits on the border between this section, which looked more at the human's relationship to the natural world, and the following section, which begins to look at identity, and again, the fragility of how we understand identity. And so this work offers a transition between the two, because it talks about whether identity or sexuality is a natural condition, a cultural condition, or nationhood is a natural condition or one imposed upon you. So it's an interesting crossover at this point between how we relate to nature, humans and the natural world, and how the natural world is part of our identity, or the natural body is part of the identity.
it's fantastic conversation with the identity, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's all
Yeah.
we are about. But it's always, yes. Anyway. So we are going. That is amazing. So we are going. Paul McCarthy. Paul McCarthy is one of the group of the artists I told you are very influenced, like McKelly, Paul McCarthy. So he's, you know, in the 60s, you have pop art, taking all the, you know, glorifying the everyday consumptions and really all those products were, Paul McCarthy took the same objects and wanted to show through those objects the toxicity, because they are all chemicals, and also the violence behind in America. So he is not glorifying those objects, just the opposite of pop art. It's called propos. So here you have Isaac Genskens. Isaac Genskens was, as you know, the wife of Richter, but she wanted to glorify and she wanted to glorify all the people who are very marginal, like transvestite, drug addict, homeless, and who bring so much to the society, creativity and you know, originality, and no one pays attention to them. So that was really making an honor of those people who never pay attention, but were there in the society, and they are a big element of creations. So that she used her own clothes. She's been spending most of her time in psychiatric hospital too. So she relates to those people. So time, I think, is fundamental, and it's been very important. You know, Ankawara, for me, as you say, I'm a collector, and maybe it's my favorite piece in my collections. So as you know, everybody knows, Ankawara has been always doing painting in every place he was, and the painting has to be finished by 12 of, so what he wanted to do, is, I must say, is to measure the time. So that's the first things. And as to measure the time, he was doing those paintings every day until 12 o'clock at night, and if it was not finished, he would destroy it. But in order to remember the time, he documents them with a box, with a newspaper. It happens that those were done in Mexico 2 weeks before the students were murdered. The other one is Robert Kennedy. And so it's a very important pieces. Here you have like on the floor, you have Katin Kabok, which is, I suppose, German, and it's a calendar. And she also is very interested by measuring the time and measuring the space. So every day, and it's made out of clay, so she remake another piece by memory, and every day you move one piece to the limit, because what she's interested in life is to go to the limit, which we are all going. We like to live on the limit. So this is one question. Here is John Copland's. This is John Copland's. John Copland was an art critic for art forum, so he made a portrait of himself and he wanted to glorify getting old. So it took, you never will see his face, but he took those positions of Roman sculpture and Greek sculpture. So to just making what to get old is just beautiful. So good for all of us. So like I told you, I think, I don't know if I told you, but I think our life is like a movie. So I took this Kerit Wen Evans. So it's you know, it's been it's a propositions, like when you go to the movie, it's a sentence, which is a sentence with, is very interested by Guy Debord, who was a Marxist filmmakers. So what it says is, the sentence say, we go round and round into the night until we are consumed by fire, but until we are, meaning that until we are consumed by society of consumptions. So that this is the idea of. So here we have Ritkrit Tiravanija, which is a Thai artist. And, you know, this is a puzzle, and this is the story of our life. In a way, you are all invited to finish this puzzle, which is absolutely impossible, but it's also impossible to finish the puzzle of our life. So I put next to as Felix González Torres, one of the most important artists, if it's not of the 90s. We speak about memories. Memories is very fragile. So it took this normal family, but really it's Klaus Barbie, who was called the Butcher of Lyon. And in order for not forgetting, he put these puzzles into a plastic bag try not to evaporate. The middle, it's a letter that his lover was writing when he was dying at the same time of AIDS, because the 90s, unfortunately, Felix did die also of AIDS. So he put this fragment of letter to keep it safe, for not to forget. So memory is very volatile and it's difficult, and we all forget. So, yes. So here, what we did, we have Dan Graham. Dan Graham is, it's called a pavilion. Dan Graham is an American artist. Spent all his life in psychiatric hospital. And so it's the way you look, you know, it's a reflection. If you go inside, it's a reflection about yourself, the way you look at the outside world and the way people look at you. And we put the sky above because, you know, even if we are closed up in all problems, we have always the sky to evaporate, to dream. And we have this beautiful sentence, what I have done, you know, like all our life, it's like a movie. So what I have done is like a suspense, you know, you always ask you to yourself what I have done. And it's like the story of our life. It's a question, but it's not a question mark. It gives you like a way to go. And we put sex, a little sex, very in concrete, from Sarah Lucas, because it's very strong. And it's been running the world since the world exists, next to these big pavilions. So, and the title is called Love, Sculpture for the Blind. So we put this little, very concrete, hard, in
I like that we have freezed on the sex cube. Patricia?
She put chewing gums on her with a shape of vagina, because in art history, you always speak about penises, but you never speak about vagina. But there is an homeopathy about American women who say, you choose them, you use them, you throw them, and you replace them. So a friend of mine was there and said, not anymore. So here we have like José Davila. It's an artist we stopped collecting right at the beginning. And it's a confrontations and the resistance between nature and human beings. So, you know, the fragility against the resistance of nature. So it's beautiful. Here. Here. Yeah. Yes. And here we have Michel François, Belgian artist, who also just took the moment. You don't know what it was, a movie or something, or it's like a movie, something might have happened. So you can write your own script and it breaks its fragility and also the time to try to capture the time. Here you have Ingve Holland. Ingve Holland, it's a Norwegian artist who speak, they are scanner. When you go to, so the idea of death, which is very scary and all this, but what you want to say is that technology is taking over humans. So this is the scanner when you go to a scanner. And we have Damien Hirst. We bought Damien, this is one of the number 2 and number 3 of this series he did about aspirin. There is 7,500 aspirins. When I send the invoice to Eugenio, it says 7,500 aspirin. Patricia, I think a bit expensive. So it happens that it's his favorite piece. You know, what you want to say is that we are victim, Damien's, victim of the laboratory factories. We are like, we don't need to use, he's speaking a lot about society of consumptions, as you know. And this in this beautiful cabinet, and it's also a reflection of ourselves. It's about the death and all these pills we take, thinking we're going to be happier and whatever. So this is beautiful piece we can do. You can go the other side. We can go the other side. Yeah, so I have to show you. This is called The Kiss. And the kiss is made out of passions and love and tensions, but also it's very fragile. So the idea, it's in the infinity, we have to kiss the eggs.
Yeah,
So,
very poetic.
I should. I kiss it with yeah. It's very poetic. So this is the fragility of love, you know, not the intensity. John Baldassari, which is an artist from California, as everybody knows. So it's a story. We are in a film. So, you know, there's always a suspense. It's why we put this kind of balance. And so we are finishing with two works. One is Carlos Amorales. Carlos Amorales, it's a web, and we are building a web, and we are really navigating in our web. So it's us trying to go through the web that we've been building of all our life. And I show you the last, podemos here? So this is Carlos Amorales, and the last piece, which is I speaking for me, from Stefan Bruggeman, which is an artist from who lives in London, which is Mexican. We bought him in 2000. Sometime I sing, sometime I don't. So that's the end of the exhibitions. This is my self-portrait. Yes, sometimes yes, well, perfect.
Yeah.
Voila, that's it.
Thank
you.
We can see that you have been thinking a lot.
So what did you say?
We can see that you have been thinking a lot. And
yeah, we've been thinking a lot, but sometimes I don't.
And Patricia, we have a question. In fact, what is the balance between South American artists and all the others? A lot of internationally well-known artists. How did you do this balance? And because it seems that you have between the Central American artists and South American artists, you have more young artists than more established ones. And so if you could have tell us a few words about that.
Patricia's going to ask me to answer that.
Yeah.
I think if we were to take it as there's probably about 1/3 of the artists in this exhibition originate in the Americas from, I mean, Mexico is actually North America, so it's a bit, but we identify it as Latin America. So that's already a blurry line. There's artists like Francis Alice, who's Mexico-based and established in Mexico, but Belgium. Santiago Sierra, who obviously is Spanish, but was formed while living here. His practice was formed while living here. So
Sorry.
if you include all of those, even when artists are not identified as Mexican exactly, the works in the collection would have a substantial connection to the country. So the photographs by Marina Gonier that you saw, the large photographs of the sky, they were made here in Mexico. The piece by Om Kawara was made here in Mexico. There was a Robert Smithson work that we didn't see, which is also a work he produced here in Mexico. So the collection, and particularly this exhibition, has a series of connections that unravel the idea of simple South America or otherwise.
Yes, we look more at the subject, and we did not really, we did pay attention to be sure that because we are in Mexico, to put some, you know, Central American, Latin American artists. But the idea, what we try to write, because it's like writing some notes, music notes, or to write a story, the subject was the leading of this exhibition.
We can't hear you actually. You have to put the
I have been always concerned by for me, art is always a reflection and a kind of voyeurism of the society. So all the artists have been attracted, could be American or Latin American, as always this kind of idea.
And would you, I mean, how many pieces are acquired by the museum each year?
That's something you have.
No, it's not the quantity, the quality.
Okay. Okay. So then, what's the budget?
No budget. No. But you know what? It's Urenio. At the end, it starts with Urenio, it finishes with Urenio. Yeah. So we are just, elements, or it's a participation. But the person who is here is Urenio, who has decided about every piece. So sometimes, but no, but whatever. Yeah, it has been decided about everything.
So it's the first exhibition of the collection, right?
No.
What did you say?
No?
What did you say?
It's not the first exhibition of this collection.
No.
No, the museum's program includes regular exhibitions drawn from the collection, and even the international shows usually are related to artists well represented in the collection. So, for instance, when we've done solo shows with John Baldassari or Philip Pereno, or in the future there's an upcoming exhibition of Gego, all artists that appear within the collection. So the entire program connects either to Mexican art in particular or to the collection.
Urenio's taste.
I see.
I mean, it's all, is very much in control of the collections, and it's really his collections. So there is really not, he cannot, he's very busy. So we bring the information, and at the end, it's him selecting everything.
Yeah. And so what's the next, considering the museum program, what's the next exhibition?
The next exhibition opens at the end of March, and it focuses on contemporary art from Mexico. It's called Normal Exceptions, contemporary art in Mexico, based here, or also include Mexican artists based outside the country. Can you hear now?
Yes, we have been disconnected. So if you can.
Can you hear?
We have been disconnected.
Have you?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh no. No. Okay, it's good that we arrived to the end because we can't hear them. If anyone has a question, you can write it in the chat box, but I think the connection is not so good. Hello?
We're back.
Hopefully we're back. Is that correct?
Yes, you're back. Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, I think we cannot hear the last part, but the next exhibition is going to be about
Mexican art.
Yeah, Mexican contemporary art. It draws on the collection as well as loans. It's going to be in the whole building and opening at the end of March. And so all the work is from this century, which is quite a funny thing to say, but it's already 20 and a half years. So, and the collection was very influential in that period. So it has a strong importance here.
That's fabulous. So maybe we could schedule another webinar about Mexican arts. Yes. We are very much into Mexican. And
that is Kit.
Yes.
I'm not a
Thank you so much.
It was very nice of to invite me, but I'm not a curator. Kit is a giant curator. Yeah, no, not just all. Very impressive. And English, and from
London. English, of course. Yeah.
But you know what? was very much what we have to say is thanks to Eugenio, it changed the dynamic of Mexico. And Mexico is one of the best places about art and art scene. And this is thanks to Eugenio. So we want to thank him very much for his courage and his generosity and his dynamism and his focus, because he's very focused. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. That's the only thing about, we didn't ask you, Patricia, because you're in Mexico when we are behind the bars in London. What's the situation? What's the situation in Mexico? Is it okay?
Yeah, we have terrace, we go for lunch, but we cannot be more than 4. And it's 27 degrees outside. No, it's and the store just opened yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
And the people are so beautiful, wonderful, generous.
Oh my
and
God.
you. So
Okay.
it's really a pleasure to be here.
We are not jealous at all.
But you are all invited to come. And,
yes.
And
yes.
I don't think you will have a return ticket back because it's so beautiful here.
Yeah. Okay.
A great art scene, great artists, and great institutions to see. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and great food. and fun alcohol. So you have everything. Welcome to Mexico.
Okay, fabulous. So thank you so much. Thank you to all. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Dario, and thank you, Keith, for showing us around. It was really professionally filmed, and that's fabulous to be able to travel to Mexico. We had like a piece of a window, and here it's dark, and we're going to go back to the lockdown.
Okay. Thank you,
yeah. Tequila. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Besos. Besos.
Adiós.
Bye.
Buenos días. Bye.